Welcome, everyone. As everybody settles in here, we're going to talk today about compliance. And I am sure that's not what you got out of bed and said you wanted to hear about today. So I'm going to try to make this as exciting as I can, but it's the compliance wake-up call. Cybersecurity laws that you just can't ignore in 2026. So know the rules, avoid the fines, and take control of your cybersecurity. So let's get started. If you're like most business owners, you might be struggling with the budget and the rising cost of services, feeling frustrated that because your technology should just work, you worry about those rising costs of cybersecurity services are outrunning your net profit. You want a proven way to make sure that you're getting the true value of services and not being cheated. So let me tell you real quick, I'm Lisa Niekamp-Irwin. I am the CEO and founder of Tomorrow's Technology Today. So a little bit about us. You know how small businesses can be frustrated with their technology? It doesn't work when they need it the most. Their IT company doesn't answer the phone. Their billing is often incorrect. We are the IT company that solves these problems and more. We have friendly, certified technicians, and our layers of cybersecurity keep our clients protected. Our proven process solves these problems in 3 easy steps. We analyze, we stabilize, and we strategize. Our clients find this gives them technology that is hassle-free and stress-free. So the real story, compliance is simply the outcome of smart cyber hygiene. Let's start with something refreshing. Compliance, it's not the goal. Security is the goal. Compliance is simply the receipt you get for doing the right things. Before we dig in, I want to shift your mindset. Too often, business owners hear compliance and immediately think rules, fines, audits, punishment. Nobody wants this. But here's the truth. Compliance is nothing more than documented, repeatable best practices. If your organization is following the modern cybersecurity fundamentals, you will naturally meet the requirements of compliance frameworks that you need to follow. And if you're not following those best practices, the compliance issues are just the symptom. The real problem is that your organization is exposed in ways that affect business continuity, downtime, insurance coverage, and your customers' trust. So today, instead of lecturing you on the laws, I'm going to show you the best practices that high-performing organizations follow and practices that reduce incidences, they strengthen the operations, they tighten the communication, and yes, magically, they check the compliance boxes along the way. Best practice number 1, know your risk, because the blind spots are what hurt the most. You can't secure what you haven't identified. You can't comply with requirements you don't understand. Most organizations think their risks are about the hackers, but in reality, the biggest risk is the unknown. Unknown accounts, unknown devices, unknown access, unknown gaps, unknown responsibilities. Modern best practice number 1 is knowing your environment. This includes a clear asset inventory. Every device, every system, every application. A risk assessment. What could break? Who could cause it? And what data does that affect? Documented processes. Because if it's not documented, it won't be done consistently. A designated owner. Compliance requires accountability, but good cyber hygiene demands it. When you do this, two powerful things happen. You understand where your real vulnerabilities are. You automatically satisfy one of those core requirements in those latest laws. House Bill 96 in Ohio, Senate Bill 472 in Indiana, along with the demands of your various vendors. These demand formal documented risk identification. It isn't about the paperwork. It's about eliminating those blind spots that lead to downtime, data loss, and expensive surprises. Best practice number 2, build a security-first culture. Your people are the program. Technology does not fail near as often as humans do, which is why people are your greatest defense or your greatest liability. Every cybersecurity law, including these new ones, share one requirement: train your people. And it's not because regulators love training, it's because most breaches start with the human mistake. Most ransomware starts with a click. Most wire fraud starts with an urgent email. Most data leaks start with a rushed decision. But here's the positive side. A trained team makes your organization safer, faster, and more resilient. Regular cybersecurity training, phishing simulations, password hygiene, and clear internal reporting channels don't just keep the regulators happy, they reduce those incidents dramatically. Think of training as building a security-first culture, where employees recognize suspicious behavior because they understand the why behind the policy. That best practice alone makes compliance drastically easier because behavior becomes consistent, predictable, and documentable. Best practice number 3, layered security and modern controls. The stuff that actually works. When you put the right controls in place, compliance simply becomes a checklist. Without them, compliance becomes a nightmare. Here's why compliance and strong operations overlap the most. There are certain controls that simply work 80 to 90% of the threats. And they are also happen to be the backbone of all major cybersecurity regulations. These include MFA everywhere, especially email, remote access, VPN, and admin accounts. Regular patching and updates. That's including all the operating systems, the applications, and that ugly old firmware. Email and phishing protection. Make sure it's filtering. There's DNS security in place. And there's domain protection. Backups that are tested and protected, because untested backups might as well not even exist. Least privilege access. Only give people the access that they truly need. And then logging and alerting, because speed of detection determines the cost of recovery. When you layer these controls, you reduce your chances of being breached and you meet the majority of regulators expect organizations to be doing today. But most importantly, these controls reduce downtime, increase operational continuity, and give you predictable, repeatable processes, something every business owner wants, more than a compliance certificate. When you follow the best practices, compliance is basically automatic. Compliance is the byproduct. Security is the outcome. Peace of mind is the benefit. So let me bring it home. The laws, House Bill 96, FTC Safeguards, Senate Bill 472, and the rest, they don't exist to burden you. They exist because the threat landscape changed, and too many organizations were operating without those basics. But here's the opportunity for you. If you focus on the best practices that improve your operations, strengthen your security, and reduce your stress as a leader, compliance is simply the natural result. Following these best practices mean you avoid the fines because you're already doing the right things. You avoid the business stopping cyber incidents because your controls work. You avoid the insurance disputes because you can prove that you're following those requirements. You create a safer, more reliable business that customers trust. So instead of trying to be compliant, aim to be secure, prepared, and resilient. Compliance will take care of itself. All right, so a quick recap, because this is the biggest mind shift. First, compliance is not the goal, security is the goal. Compliance is simply the byproduct. It's the receipt you get for doing the right things consistently. So what are those right things? Remember, step one, know your risk. You can't secure what you haven't identified. This means understanding your environment, your assets, your access, your gaps, and who owns what. When you remove those blind spots, you don't just get safer, you meet the risk identification requirements that show up in all those major rules. Step two, build that security first culture. Your people are the program. Most incidents start with human behavior, clicks, rushed decisions, urgent emails. When you train regularly and give people a clear way to report issues, security becomes consistent. And consistency is what makes compliance easier. Step three, layer the controls that actually work. This is where the fundamentals do the heavy lifting. MFA, patching, email protection, testing the backups, least privileged, and logging and alerting. These controls stop the majority of real-world threats and create predictable, repeatable operations. And when you put those three together, risk, clarity, trained people, and layered controls, the outcome is what you see in the middle, a secure, resilient business with fewer incidences and less downtime. Then the right side becomes almost automatic. Compliance is easier to prove. Fines and insurance headaches are less likely. And customers, they trust you more. So the takeaway is very simple. Aim to be secure, prepared, and resilient. Compliance, it takes care of itself. So the good news is that the first step I have for you, I'm offering you a free threat assessment and dark web scan for your organization. Is this a deep dive? Absolutely not. This is just a peek under the covers to give you a a basis, a baseline to figure out where do you go next. I make it very easy. It's 3 steps. And it's 3 steps to make the pathway to where you need to go. So number 1, book-discovery-call.com, a landing page. On there, there's a form to fill out. Fill out your information, and that will send a message to our system, and one of my team members will give you a call later today. We're going to get that call booked at your time, your convenience. In that call, you're going to join a session with one of our team members. You're going to review that dark web scan. We're going to discuss your current tactics, get an overview, ask you a few questions. And we're going to make sure that this cybersecurity assessment makes sense for you. We're also going to send you an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. We take this very seriously. The information that we uncover is between you and me. We will not disclose that information. So then we're going to send you an email. We're going to go through this. We'll send you an email. You're going to get a link in that email. That link is going to download a file, and depending on the security settings on your computer, you're going to click on that link on that file, and it's going to run a scan of your computer. It's not going to install anything. It's not going to cause any harm. It's not even going to cause any processes, any heavy utilization on your computer. It's a little window going to pop up on your screen. It's going to run around and show you that it's calculating information. With that information, we're going to have you do that on 3 to 5 computers. These are the computers that are like your CFO, your HR manager, CEO, people with the most risk. This is going to give us the best indication of what your next step should be. So once you run that on 3 to 5 computers, you're going to let us know. We're then going to have our security team, security engineers, put together a report for us. Once they get that report together, then we go through those findings. We come up with next steps for you. So from this meeting, we're going to book one more meeting. In that final meeting, you're going to join that meeting, and we're going to review those findings. We're going to let you know the things that we see that need to be fixed, that we're just taking a little look under the hood. With that, we're going to give you a next steps. You can take those next steps and decide what you want to do. We can give you a proposal, tell you how we would solve those problems. You can take those next steps to your own provider, to your internal IT, whatever you like to do. With that, you can decide how to solve the problems. But now you've kind of got to look under the hood and know where you can start. Again, if you're blind, you don't know where to go. This will give you a start to where to start to move to. I hope you take the time and use this and book a call with us. We would love to talk to you about your journey. Remember, security is a journey. It's not a destination. Hope to see you soon. Thanks. Have a great day.